Imagine this. Tonight, you go to bed exactly the way you always do. You turn off the lights. You check your phone one last time. You adjust your pillow. Maybe turn to your favorite side. Everything feels normal. Your eyes feel a little tired, maybe slightly dry, but nothing serious, nothing that feels urgent. So you close your eyes, and within minutes, you fall asleep. Now here's what most people never think about. While you are sleeping, your eyes are not off. They are still working, quietly, constantly. Deep inside your eye, your retina is active. It's repairing itself, clearing waste, rebuilding the cells that help you see clearly. And this process is critical, because what your eyes do during the night directly affects how you see the next day. But after the age of 60, this system becomes more fragile, much more fragile than most people realize. And that's where the problem begins. Because many people wake up and notice something small, blurry vision, maybe when reading, maybe when looking at faces, maybe when driving at night and headlights feel harsher than they used to, or your eyes feel dry, scratchy, uncomfortable. And the most common reaction is this: this is just aging. I just need stronger glasses. But that is not always true, because what feels small can be the beginning of something deeper. According to major eye health organizations, once you pass 60, your risk of vision problems increases significantly. Conditions like dry eyes, cataracts, macular degeneration become much more common. But here's the part most people don't realize. The damage doesn't usually happen during the day. It happens at night, while you are asleep. Because during sleep, your eyes depend completely on internal support, blood flow, oxygen, nutrients. And if any of these are slightly reduced, your retina does not get what it needs. And when that happens, damage begins. Slowly, silently. Most people don't notice it until it has already progressed. Now let me explain something important. Your eye is one of the most active organs in your body, especially your retina. Inside your retina, there are cells called photoreceptors. These cells convert light into vision. They work all day, and even at night they continue repairing themselves. Every night, they go through a reset process. They clear waste. They rebuild visual pigments. They prepare for the next day. But after 60, three major changes begin to affect this system. And understanding these three changes is the key to protecting your vision. First, oxidative damage. Over time, your eyes are exposed to stress, sunlight, screens, normal aging. All of these create free radicals. Free radicals damage cells, and in your eye, they attack your photoreceptors, especially in the macula, the part responsible for sharp, detailed vision, reading, recognizing faces. When damage builds up there, vision starts to fade. Second, the lens becomes less clear. Proteins inside the lens begin to change. They clump together, and slowly, your vision becomes cloudy. This is how cataracts form. Third, blood flow decreases. The tiny vessels that feed your retina become less efficient, which means less oxygen, less nutrients. And without proper support, cells begin to weaken, and over time, they begin to die. Now, when you combine these three, oxidative damage, lens changes, reduced circulation, you create the perfect condition for vision decline. And again, this process is silent. It builds slowly until one day you notice the change. Blurry vision. And by then, the damage has already started. So here's the real question. Is there anything you can actually do about it? Without expensive procedures, without relying only on medication? And the answer is yes. but not in the way most people expect, because the solution is not complicated. It's something simple, something natural, something you can find in any grocery store. And when used correctly, it supports your eyes exactly when they need it most. But here's the key. It's not just what you eat, it's when you eat it, because timing changes everything. In the next part, I'm going to show you the first fruit and why it works so specifically inside your eye. Now let's talk about the first fruit, and this one has been studied more than almost any other fruit when it comes to eye health. Blueberries. Most people think of blueberries as something simple, a snack, a topping, something optional. But from a medical perspective, they are much more powerful than that. Because blueberries contain a group of compounds that directly support your retina. These compounds are called anthocyanins. They are what give blueberries their deep blue color. But inside your body, they don't just sit there. They actively work. And one of the most important things they do is support a protein called rhodopsin. Now this is where things become important. Rhodopsin is found in your retina, specifically in cells called rods. These cells help you see in low light. They are responsible for night vision, adjusting to darkness, seeing clearly in dim environments. And after the age of 60, rhodopsin regeneration slows down. That's why many people notice driving at night becomes harder. It takes longer to adjust to darkness. Vision feels weaker in low light. This is not just aging, it's a biological slowdown. Now here's what anthocyanins do. They help your body regenerate rhodopsin faster, which means your eyes recover more efficiently. And this has been shown in research. Studies have found that anthocyanins improve how quickly the eyes adapt to darkness in older adults. But that's only one part of the benefit, because blueberries also protect your eyes. Remember what we talked about earlier, oxidative damage, free radicals damaging your retina. Anthocyanins act as antioxidants. They help neutralize those free radicals, which slows down damage to your photoreceptor cells. But there's one specific layer of the eye that is especially important. It's called the retinal pigment epithelium. This layer sits just beneath your photoreceptors, and it has a critical job. It feeds those cells. It removes waste. It keeps everything functioning. If this layer becomes damaged, your photoreceptors begin to weaken, and over time, they begin to die. This is one of the key processes behind macular degeneration. Now here's what research shows. Anthocyanins help protect this layer from oxidative stress, which means they help preserve the system your vision depends on. But there's more. Blueberries also support circulation. Inside your retina, tiny blood vessels deliver oxygen and nutrients. As we age, these vessels become less efficient. Blood flow slows down, and when that happens, your retina gets less support. Blueberries contain compounds that help improve blood vessel function, which means better delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your eyes. So now think about what blueberries are doing. They support vision function. They protect retinal cells. They improve circulation, all at the same time, and that's why they are so effective. Now here's something most people don't realize. It's not just about eating blueberries. It's about when you eat them, because your eyes follow a rhythm. During the day, they work. At night, they repair. This is when your retina does its most important work. Cells regenerate. Waste is cleared. Visual pigments are restored. And all of this requires nutrients. If those nutrients are available at that time, your eyes benefit. If not, the process is less effective. This is why eating blueberries before bed matters. You are supporting your eyes at the exact moment they need it most. Let me tell you about someone I worked with. I'll call her Abigail. She was 67, very attentive to detail. She noticed something changing. Her central vision was becoming blurry, especially when reading. Not severe, but enough to worry her. Her optometrist identified early changes consistent with macular degeneration and told her to monitor it. But she wanted to do more. So we looked at her daily habits. And one thing became clear. She was not getting the nutrients her eyes needed, like most people. So we made one simple change. 1 cup of blueberries every night. Nothing complicated, just consistency. And here's the important part. The results were not immediate, because this is not a quick fix. It's a slow biological process. But over time, something changed. Now, before I tell you what happened next, there's something you need to understand. Blueberries are powerful, but they are not complete. They support some of the key systems, but not all. There is another missing piece, another compound your eyes need that blueberries alone cannot provide. And this is where the second fruit comes in. Because the next fruit does something very specific. It builds protection directly inside your eye, and almost no one talks about it. Now let's talk about the second fruit. And this one is the one most people don't expect. Kiwi. It's small, simple, easy to overlook. But when it comes to eye health, it contains something extremely important. 2 compounds your eyes depend on, lutein and zeaxanthin. Now here's why these matter. Unlike most nutrients, lutein and zeaxanthin don't just circulate randomly. Your body sends them to one specific place, the macula, the center of your retina, the part responsible for sharp vision, reading, recognizing faces. And once they reach the macula, they do something powerful. They form what's called the macular pigment. Think of this as a natural protective layer, a built-in filter inside your eye. Because every day, your eyes are exposed to light, especially high-energy blue light, from sunlight, from screens, from your environment. This light creates oxidative stress. It damages your photoreceptors, especially in the macula. Now, here's what lutein and zeaxanthin do. They absorb that harmful light before it can cause damage. They reduce oxidative stress. They protect your cells. And over time, they help preserve your vision. This is not theory. Large clinical studies have confirmed this. In research involving thousands of adults, higher intake of lutein and zeaxanthin was associated with a reduced risk of macular degeneration progression. That is a significant finding, because it targets the exact condition most people fear after 60. But kiwi doesn't stop there. It also contains something else your eyes need, vitamin C, and your eyes require a lot of it. In fact, the lens of your eye contains one of the highest concentrations of vitamin C in your entire body. Because vitamin C protects the lens from oxidative damage, the same damage that leads to cataracts. So now think about what kiwi is doing. It supports the macula, it filters harmful light, it protects the lens, and it does all of this naturally. Now here's something even more interesting. Kiwi doesn't just support your eyes directly. It also improves something else that your eyes depend on, your sleep. Because your eyes repair at night, and better sleep means better repair. Studies have shown that eating kiwi before bed can improve sleep quality, helping people fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and reach deeper sleep stages. And this matters, because your retina does its most important work during deep sleep. So now you have 2 effects happening together. Kiwi provides protective nutrients, and it improves the conditions for your eyes to repair themselves. That combination is powerful. The payoff, Abigail's story. Now let's go back to Abigail. After our conversation, she made a simple change. Every night, 1 cup of blueberries, 2 kiwis, nothing else. No complicated routine, just consistency. And she stayed with it. Not for a week, not for a month, but for a full year. When she returned for her follow-up, something interesting happened. Her condition had not worsened. In some areas, it appeared stable, which was not what was expected, because early macular degeneration usually progresses over time. Her optometrist noticed the difference and asked what had changed. When she explained her routine, there was a moment of silence. Then he said something simple. "I wish more people knew this." And that's exactly the point. Most people don't know, not because it's complicated, but because no one explains it clearly. Bring it together. Now let's simplify everything. After 60, your eyes face three main challenges: oxidative damage, reduced circulation, cellular decline. Blueberries help protect your retinal cells and support vision function. Kiwi helps build protective pigment and shield your macula from damage. Together, they support your eyes in a way that is simple but powerful. Here's what you can do starting tonight. 1 cup of blueberries, 2 kiwis, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. No sugar, no processing, just whole fruit. That's it. Your vision doesn't disappear overnight. It changes slowly, which means you still have time. Time to support your eyes. Time to protect what you have. And sometimes, the most effective changes are also the simplest. Which of these will you try tonight? Blueberries or kiwi? Tell me in the comments. And if you know someone who struggles with blurry vision, share this with them. Because sometimes, the difference between decline and stability is just knowing what to do.